Hello, we're going to start off today with another warm-up game, listening out to a new piece of music and trying to find the pulse. This piece of music is from a country called Cuba and it's in the style of a mambo, and there are quite a few places in it where the music stops. So a little bit like a game of musical statues, we're going to see if we can freeze when the music stops, which means we need to concentrate and listen really carefully. Let's have a go. Join in with my actions. Well done. And this time we're going to try doing some of our copies games. And just like we've done in our previous weeks, we're going to have a microphone in one hand and we're going to be using milk and cornflakes. And I'm going to show the rests in the music by covering up the microphone. So it might go milk, cornflakes, milk. And the whole time during this, we're going to see if we can still feel where the pulse is at the same time. This music is a bit more complicated than the previous ones that we've heard. And there will also still be those silences, and I'll try and remember to stop when we get to there. Okay, here we go. Good luck, everybody. Milk, cornflakes, cornflakes, milk. Cornflakes, cornflakes, milk. Cornflakes, cornflakes, milk. Milk, cornflakes, milk. Cornflakes, cornflakes, milk, milk. Cornflakes, milk, cornflakes. Milk, cornflakes, milk. Cornflakes, cornflakes, milk. Milk, cornflakes, milk. Cornflakes, cornflakes, milk. We're now going to remind ourselves about the rhythm grid, or the rhythms that we were looking at from last week, which were these here. And we had crotchets and quavers. So the crotchets were the notes that have one beat, and they're the ones that we say the word milk for. And our pairs of quavers, two blobs with the goalposts over the top, were the ones that we said cornflakes for. We also had our squiggly rest that was in there as well. And the rest was the one that went like that, or like this. So as long as there's something that happens in the beat that's silent, then the rest will work. So let's just read through the rhythms once without any other music on, and then I'm going to bring back our mambo music from Cuba to see if we can do it along with that. Okay, and I think we'll use our Forte microphone for this one today. From the top, off we go. Rice, rice, naan bread, rice. Naan bread, rice. Naan bread, rice, naan bread, rice, rice, naan bread, rice. Very good. Now let's see if we can fit it over the top of our mambo. Here it comes. Rice, rice, naan bread, rice. Naan bread, rice. Naan bread, rice, naan bread, rice, rice, naan bread, rice. And again, rice, rice, naan bread, rice. Naan bread, rice. Naan bread, rice, naan bread, rice. Rice, naan bread, rice. Very good. This time I'm going to see if we can clap the rhythm as well. So we'll clap and we'll say the words as well, and the rest will look like this. Off we go. Rice, rice, naan bread, rice. Naan bread, rice. Naan bread, rice. Naan bread, rice. Rice, naan bread, rice. Okay, going to have another go at that. Just making sure we've got the pulse, because this is quite a fast speed or a fast tempo. Okay, one more time through, clapping and with the words as well. Ready? Ready, steady, off we go. Rice, rice, naan bread, rice. Naan bread, rice. Naan bread, rice. Naan bread, rice. Rice, naan bread, rice. Very good. This time we're going to see if we can put the words in our heads. Press our mute buttons. So we're still going to be thinking about the words all the time. We're still going to be feeling the pulse, so we know how fast the music's going, so we know what tempo the music is going at. And we're going to see if we can clap the rhythms as well. And we'll go through the whole square twice from top to bottom. I'll try and choose a good place for us to start. Get the pulse going first. Here we go. Ready, steady, off we go. And again. Don't want to stop the music, I'm enjoying it so much. But we'll have to. We're now going to have a go at composing some of our own rhythms. Now when we compose music, it's just the same as writing a story. So if this was an English lesson, you might be asked to write a story where you decide what's going to happen next. Sometimes you get told what the story is going to be about, roughly, and then you decide what happens next in the story using the characters that you've been given. So if we decided that we were going to write some pieces of music today, and to start with, I'm just going to have a go myself so you can see what's going on. I'm going to choose 4 beats to start with, and I'm going to only have milk or cornflakes to choose from. So if I was to very quickly write something like this, I can see, even though it doesn't look like the music we've already been reading, I can tell that that goes milk, cornflakes, cornflakes, milk. So I've got one line for my milk and then a kind of pair of goalposts for the cornflakes. Once I've done that, if I want to make it look a little bit more like the music, then I can just add some blobs underneath. I'm sure you can do this a lot neater than I'm doing it. I didn't actually do it with a pencil and paper. I did it on my iPad, so it looks a little bit scruffy. But with the blobs on there as well, I can still see that it says milk, cornflakes, cornflakes, milk. So why don't you have a go at writing down 4 little bits of rhythm? So you can choose from milk and cornflakes. You could do all cornflakes, all milks, or a little bit like I've done, a combination of the two. Okay, go and have a go at that now. And so you can press pause. How did you get on? Hopefully you've got something similar to the one that I did. As long as there are only 4 of them, that's important. We can't have 3 or 5 or 2.5. If you've got 4 of them written down, then that should be fine. And then I want to see if you can have a go at reading yours. So if I give you a pulse like this, here's how fast it's going to go. I might sing you my pulse potato song at the same time. And I want to see, as I'm singing my pulse potato song, I'm going to see if you can tell me how your pattern goes. Off we go, pulse, potato. Should we try that again? I'll go a little bit slower now that you know what I'm going to do. So my pattern went rise, down, but no it didn't. It went milk, cornflakes, milk. I was on to my evening meal already. Okay, so I'm going to go a little bit slower and see if you can tell me what you've done on your paper. Off we go, pulse, potato. Very good. Now I want to see if you can clap it to me. So it's 4 beats of clapping your pattern back to me. Off we go. Fantastic. That sounded really good. Okay, on to the next level. My next little scribble looks a bit like this. And this time I've got a kind of lightning strike there. Looks a bit like a wonky number 3. Sometimes it looks a bit like the mark that's on Harry Potter's forehead. Looks a bit like it might be lightning. But that squiggle to me just means arrest. So as long as it looks a bit like that, sometimes people almost draw a 7. But if you understand, for now, this is composing for you. So if you understand that that means there's a rest there, then that's fine. So if I did that along with my milk and my cornflakes, and if I count how many things we've got on this little bit of music, I can see that there are still 4 beats happening, 4 pulses worth of music. And on this one, it goes milk, cornflakes, milk. Okay. And if I add some blobs to it, it looks a little bit more like the music. Still got a squiggly rest for number 3. This is exactly the same thing. Let's try this one together now. Off we go. Milk, cornflakes, milk. Excellent. So for your next piece of music, I would like you to include 1 rest somewhere. So that means that out of your 4 beats, you're going to have one of those beats is going to be a rest. And we're also going to include some milk and some cornflakes in the rest. Okay, so if you pause the video now and have a go at that one. How did you get on? Let's do the same as we did last time. So I'm going to give you a pulse and I want you to read out your new rhythm to me now, the one that's got the rest in it as well. Okay, off we go. Fantastic. This time, I'd like you to do it twice. I would like you to clap your rhythm and say your rhythm as well. So we're going, and don't forget to show the rest as well. So I'm going to give you 8 pulses or 8 beats and I want to see if you can go through yours twice. Off we go. Fantastic, that sounded really good. Okay, next thing I'm going to show you are 8 little bits of rhythm. So this time I've gone on to 2 lines and I've included cornflakes and milk, and I've also included a rest there. And if we add some blobs onto that, we could make it look even more like real music. But for now, we'll leave the blobs off and we'll just read through those 2 lines of rhythm together. Off we go, cornflakes, 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 milk, milk, cornflakes, milk. Okay, and the final thing I'm going to show you with writing our own rhythm, or composing our rhythms, is this one. Again, it looks a little bit scruffy, but I can just about make out that I've put an F underneath the first line and a P underneath the second line. This is something that we saw in music in our last lesson. Can you remember what they mean? So they mean loud and quiet, and the big posh word that I'm hoping some of you will have remembered is dynamics. So to make my music a little bit more interesting, I've decided to add some dynamics to my composition. So if I use a loud microphone and a quiet microphone, and we can do this together, let's read through my latest composition And we notice that it's now 8 beats long. Here we go. Cornflakes, 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 milk, milk, cornflakes, milk. Very good. Could have done that for my rest, couldn't I? But that's exactly the same thing. Now I'm going to see if I can do words and clapping. So I'm going to do full claps for the forte and baby claps for the piano. So a loud dynamic and a quiet dynamic. I'll put the words in as well, and let's try it all together. Off we go. Cornflakes, 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 milk, milk, cornflakes, milk. And the last thing I'm going to do with this one is to try it without the words. So I'm going to press my mute button. It's not working. Let's see if it's working. So, your final challenge for this week is to see if you can write at least 8 beats worth of rhythm. It's nice on a piece of paper if you can just have one above the other, like I've been doing today, then we can see what's going on. And if you want to add some dynamics in there as well, so that you can have some loud and some quiet. And also if you want to include some rests, then that should be fine. If you want to write more than 8 beats, then that's also fine. But if you remember how we had our music set out in a grid, it's nice if you've got 4 beats on each line. Makes it a little bit easier for us to read the music at the moment. And in next week's lesson, we're going to ask you to show us and share with us the work that you've done. So your rhythm compositions or your pieces of music that you've written, especially for us, we're going to see if you can maybe perform them and film yourself performing them, or just keep them safe in on a piece of paper or in a workbook somewhere so that you can show your music teacher next time round. Okay, goodbye for now.